James, how do you do the things you do? I still can't believe that it's true. I get hungry when I think of you. Like champagne and caviar, you're such a treat. Like cherries Jubilee, you're oh so sweet. You whet my appetite each time we meet. Oh, James, it's true. I get hungry when I think of you.
Hi, welcome to the Urban Peasant. Now this is the easy one. This is the food show that makes it quick and cheap and, as I said before, dead easy. We take ordinary things and make them into nice, wonderful, exotic things. Today we're going to play with hamburger. We're going to make 3 separate dishes. They're all different. They're all made out of ground meat. Now, the first one we're going to make is shepherd's pie. Now, I learned this dish when I was a little kid because every Sunday of my life, I ate lamb. And this dish is traditionally made in England out of ground lamb, but we're going to make it out of hamburger because who has legs of lamb every Sunday? Now, so here's how we do it. Got leftover mashed potatoes and hamburger. And the first thing we do, put a couple tablespoonfuls of oil in a pan and some onions. Now, you measure the onions carefully. If you decide that's enough, then that's what you do. And if you decide that that's better, then that's what you do. That's exactly how you do it. We're going to put some flavoring in with it. Rosemary. Rosemary's nice. Now, rosemary's not your ordinary herb. I'm going to put it there. I'm just going to chop it a little bit. And some of it will spin about a little bit, but that's okay. You just scrape it up because it's got long grains in it. Put that in there. We'll put some pepper in with it. And we'll put a little, no salt just yet. Just put it in there, let it go. We need some carrot. And carrot is what makes this dish wonderful. And the quickest way to make a carrot cook quickly is just to grate it. You just grate it until you stop short of your fingers. Because some people like fingers, some people don't. All right? So we just grate this carrot down to the end. And we'll put the carrot in with the onion and the rosemary. And we give it a stir while we get the hamburger. Now you can use ground meat if you want to. You can just put it through the grinder or put it in the food processor, whatever you've got. But we've just got plain old ordinary hamburger. And we're going to dump this into the pan with the onions and the carrots, and fork's best to do this with. Just start to mash it down until it starts to change color. And that's all you've really got to do. Just got to let it change color. And as soon as it gets that way, and a nice little bit of juice in it, see it's changing color there and it's coming apart. All the grains will separate. As soon as that happens, we're going to put it in the pot. What kind of pot you want? Well, we've got a square one. You can have a round one. You can have an oblong one. You can have whatever you like. You have a little shallow one. But just remember, when you do this, that if you're going to be traditional about it, you have to eat peas with it. All right? Now, mushy peas is a very big thing in the UK. Mushy peas. And there's all kinds of different ways to make them, but the best way is to get some frozen peas or some canned peas and a little tiny bit of water and turn on the fire and let them start to come up and simmer. Now, some people put a little bit of flour in there. If you're going to put flour in, put it in before the peas start to boil and just sprinkle it over the top, just about a teaspoonful, and then stir it in, and it'll turn into sort of mushy. And we'll just put the lid on, turn the heat down to low, not that low, all right? So it keeps clicking, and let it simmer away. Now here we've got our hamburger. That won't stop, will it? We'll just turn it up a little bit. We'll mash it in and see what happens when you cook food over high heat. The carrots are starting to get a brilliant color, a really brilliant color, and we are gonna have stuff that tastes of freshness. All right? So here, I'm gonna put this in here and finish mashing it in the pan. All right? There it is. And what do we put on top of it? Mashed potatoes. What do we put in there to make gravy? Well, traditionally, this is the way my mother used to do it. A couple tablespoonfuls of Worcestershire sauce. Just sprinkle it over until you feel a little bit comfortable with it. If you want to put a little beer in there, you can do that. And then, what do? You put mashed potatoes on top of it. You put a whole lot of mashed potatoes. This is a one-pot dish. You have the oven heated up to 425, and you put the mashed potatoes that have been mashed with butter and pepper on top. And you just pat them down, and then you grab yourself a fork. You let's make it look gorgeous. Mound it up a little bit. You get a fork. Now watch, as I go around it with the fork, so it makes a pattern on it, like that. Makes a pattern all the way around. And it gets sort of fluffy in the middle. And if you want to make it fantastic, you crack an egg, you beat up the egg, you get yourself a pastry brush, and you paint egg on the top of it. And then what you do with it is dead easy. You take it to the oven, and you open the oven door, and you put it in, and in 30 minutes, you've got dinner. That was shepherd's pie. Come on back.
Look back on the followers of Genghis Khan and their era of conquest, the Mongol hordes, a storm from the east, Monday at 9 on the Learning Channel.
Look closely. Can you tell the difference between these two contact lenses? They're the same prescription, the same brand name, but this lens cost 50% less and was delivered by Federal Express right to my front door. That's the Lens Express difference. Great savings and great service. Hi, I'm Linda Carter. I wear contact lenses, and I wouldn't trust these eyes to just anyone. I call Lens Express and get my replacement contacts delivered to me the very next day. It's terrific.
Call for this free Lens Express catalog. It's full of savings on contact lenses. All the top brands like AccuView, Siba, Bausch & Lomb, Wesley Jessen. And because they're sent directly to you, you'll save up to 50% off the retail price.
I trust these baby blues to Lens Express. Look closely, and you'll see one very satisfied customer.
Now you can replace your contacts as often as your doctor recommends and save. Call for a free Lens Express catalog.
Welcome back. We got shepherd's pie in the oven, cooking away, just doing it. Now we're going to make cevapcici. Now this is a lot easier to make than it is to pronounce. It's a Yugoslav dish, which I first found out, first time I ever had a holiday on a donkey. And if you want to know about having a holiday on a donkey, I can tell you in one word, don't. It's terrible sore on your rear end, okay? Now to make this cevapcici, we take half a pound of hamburger. I'm using hamburger. In Yugoslavia, they use a lot of lamb because they got a lot of lambs. We put in a fair bit of 3 or 4 tablespoonfuls of fine chopped onion. We put in an egg. Now, I know you should check the egg before you put it in, but I did it as I opened it, all right? Put in an egg. You put in some pepper, a little bit of parsley. Here's some parsley. And some oregano. We put all the spices into this, and we make the sauce very, very simply in a minute. But first of all, we put some paprika in there, nice, funky. Look at that, nice red, orangey paprika. Okay, stir it all around and mix it well. And the secret to making any sort of good ground meat dish is to mix it well. It's the mixing that really decides whether you're going to have something super or something dreadful, all right? There's no salt in this. Why no salt? Because we are going to not suck all the juices out. We want the juices to stay in, Now we turn up the fry pan to high. We put in a little bit of oil, about 2 tablespoonfuls. And as soon as it's hot, we start to make the cevapcici. Now you have to do this on a board. You can do it with flour if you like, but if you make them into little bits about that size, just about that size, we have to wash this board afterwards, which I tell you often enough about. Keep the board clean. You make the cevapcici into little pancakes, and then you tighten them up and make them into little finger-length sausages. Just pat them together with a fork, and you've got these nice little sausages. Because it's got egg in there, as soon as it gets to the heat, it's going to stiffen up. All right, so there we are. And make them, you can make them whatever size or shape or height or length or skinniness you want. All right, there's the first one. Just slop it into the pan, the hot, hot oil. All right, put another one in there, another one in there. We're doing it with 4, but you can do it with more because there's no rules against it. You do what you feel like doing. Now, put them in there, and what we'll do now is just turn them over. Now look, underside is cooked. Let me turn that one the other way, then you'll see. That side's cooked. That side's cooked. And they're starting to stick together. I shouldn't have gotten that. I should do it with a fork. There. See how crisp that's going on the outside? Now that's what we want, is to have that nice and crisp and brown. Now we can turn the heat down and we make the sauce. How do we make the sauce? Dead easy. We get ourselves a tomato, because in the valley going up to Sarajevo, there are lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. They grow tomatoes and they make wonderful white wine called moshtar. I used to go along this wretched donkey. Donkeys do 2 miles an hour, and you sit on it sideways and you just jog along and jolt, and you see all kinds of people coming towards you at 2 miles an hour, and you all exchange silent commiseration. Right, the sauce is almost ready to go with our little cevapcici. Here it goes. You never saw a sauce easier than this, did you? In goes the tomato. In goes the tomato. What else? 1/3 of a bottle of beer. Just that much, all right? Stir it around. You could put a lot more of these little sausages in there, but this is how you make the sauce, and this is when we put the salt in. Now we put in about 1/2 teaspoonful of salt, and we let it turn into a sauce, which is going to cook.
How is the pasta?
Almost as good as the DiGiorno pasta we had the other night at home.
DiGiorno?
Refrigerated pastas and sauces.
See, you use big chunks of diced tomato and sliced mushroom just like DiGiorno.
And these tortellini have almost as much ricotta and Romano cheese as
You
DiGiorno.
are too kind.
Hey, you're not serving DiGiorno here now, are you?
Certainly not.
Too bad.
For restaurant fresh taste, you can make reservations or make DiGiorno. And now, enjoy the fresh taste of DiGiorno shredded Parmesan.
That was me, Tommy Lasorda, before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. Now it's even easier to have my shake because now there are 4 great tasting flavors in ready-to-drink cans. The plan is easy. A shake for breakfast, 1 for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. Ah, icy cold and delicious.
Ultra Slim Fast in rich chocolate, French vanilla, and new strawberry and coffee flavors. Give us a week, we'll take off the weight.
New Ultra Palm Olive is so powerful, just a little bit cuts the toughest grease.
Yeah, baked on grease.
Caked on grease.
Caramelized grease.
Elbow grease. Ooh, good one.
Ultra tough, ultra soft, ultra palm olive.
I'm Betty. This is Pat.
Hi.
We're the Reynolds Wrap Kitchen's home economists. To show the best way to wrap sandwiches, we put one in Reynolds Wrap, the other in a plastic sandwich bag. Pat's gonna field test them. How'd they hold up? Looks like Reynolds Wrap is the best wrap for your kids' sandwiches. One more reason, Reynolds has it all wrapped up.
Welcome back to the Urban Peasant. 5,001 things to do with hamburger that you never thought possible. Okay, none of them hamburger. So, what we're going to do now, we've got shepherd's pie in the oven. We made cevapcici. I took the mushy peas. Look at these mushy peas. I took them out of the pot during the break. Mushy, really mushy. Right? Now, what we do here, faggots used to be made in the north of England. They traditionally went with chips when you went to a movie. And they included everything that came out of an animal. Now, including liver and hearts. This is liver, and most people are terrified of liver, so I'll show you how to handle liver. Just drop it in boiling water for just a minute, and it goes stiff, and you can handle it. Don't put your fingers in there because it's boiling, but it's nice and easy to handle now. It doesn't look half as offensive as it did before. It's only the look of liver that scares people. So, bit of liver, bit of ground meat. Put some ground meat into the food processor. And you can do this by chopping and chopping and chopping, but we're not going to do it today because we're going to get it done. We're going to put some mushrooms in. This is cheating. There's all these different recipes all over the north of England of people who know how to make the one and only faggot. So there we are. We've got hamburger, some liver, some mushrooms. We're going to put in a good dollop of thyme. Now that's just thyme. And we're just going to grind it up with our hands and put it in there like that. And where did I put the pepper? It's over here. We're going to put some pepper in there. This is a good spicy dish, all right? And you can put flour in it. You can put breadcrumbs. Some people put different things in, but the trick is to get it spiced up. And you want onions. So we put onions in there. All right. Now, you make it good and smooth. And if you don't like airplanes taking off, put your hands over your ears. Oh, it's not so bad, is it? There. Just grind it good and smooth. And it being ground smooth, it gets all the edges of the stuff, everything comes together. It's like when you make pate. This is the way you do it. You just grind it all good and smooth together. And now you can see how the fibers have changed. Let me get a spoonful of that out. Here's a plate. I'll get a forkful out and show you how it's gone really smooth. It's sort of sticking together. So that's the size we really want, that sort of size. We'll make there's that one's a bit too big, and we'll get another one out of here. See, we can measure with a fork just as easily as we can measure with a spoon. And just pat them together. And there we are. Lots of nice little things ready to be made into faggots. Now, if you wanted to roll these in cornmeal, that's fine. Roll them in breadcrumbs, that's fine. Roll them in flour, that's fine. Roll them in nothing, that's fine too. What you do to cook them is to get yourself a saucepan or a fry pan, put it on the stove, and all things cook slowly. I mean, that's what we got to learn to do. So we take this, pat it down, make it into, if you're really making traditional faggots, what I should do, let me get a spoon out of here. What I should do is to show you how they make them. The ones I've had after the movies in Bradford. All right, like that. The spoon, a little bit of oil, and in goes faggot. These are wonderful. They go crisp on the outside, and they're all spicy and smooth inside. Chinese make a thing, something like this called lion's head. They do it with pork instead of ground beef, but it's ground the same way, and it turns into almost exactly the same sort of texture. It's almost chewy. And it's because you've ground it all so nice and fine. Look, just to show you that it doesn't matter, we'll make that one flat. All right, we'll make that one a flat one. There's no reason why you shouldn't have a flat one as well as a round one. It's just a question of what your preference is. So we've made those, and they are going to cook. It'd be nice. You can eat these with potato chips. It's not traditionally English to eat them with potato chips. You should eat them with mushy peas. Again, you can eat them with mushy peas, or you can eat them with fried tomatoes. You can do all kinds of things. That's what we're going to do. So while I'm doing that, talking about fried tomatoes, if you want to fry tomatoes, ever, to be sort of really British about it, get them, just cut them into slices and sprinkle them with flour and then fry them, and they get a crisp brown on the outside. Maybe I can do that. I'll do it during the break. I think that's what I'll do. I'm just going to let me get, what have I got? Here's this plate. I might as well use this plate. Put a little bit of flour on it. Put the tomato slices on it, and then fry them. And you'll be surprised. They get a crisp outside. And by the time you get back, we'll have that done.
Explore the recipes and writings of James Barber by ordering your copy of the Urban Peasant Cookbook. James Barber's anecdotes and tips, together with his fast, simple, and affordable recipes, create much more than a cookbook. To receive your copy, send $18.95 to The Urban Peasant, P.O. Box 2284, South Burlington, Vermont, 05407 2284. Or charge by phone, 1-800-322-8321.
Hi, hon.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for the new pants.
Those aren't new.
They're not?
No. You wore them last year, remember?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for letting them out. See ya.
He still doesn't know. I didn't redo his pants. Just the way we eat.
Introducing Weight Watchers Smart Choice Recipe Collection from Time Life Books. Now, cutting back on fat and calories doesn't mean giving up delicious foods. Each recipe features step-by-step instructions and complete nutrition information. Call for your binder, dividers, and 24 Weight Watcher recipe cards. Usually you'd spend $25, but right now, everything is yours for only $5.99. Then, every month, you get 2 sets of recipe cards for just $5.99 each.
I learned how to make fettuccine and even onion rings healthy. He'll never catch on.
Use your credit card and we'll include these herbs and spices as an extra free gift.
There's a common thread in human history. One advance leads to another. And old ideas give birth to new ones. We can tie it all together, find out where we've been and where we might be going. See it happen as we present a 5-hour investigation of history's connections. Friday beginning at 9 on the Learning Channel.
Welcome back to the Urban Peasant, the hamburger show. Now, we've made shepherd's pie. We've made a Yugoslav dish, cevapcici. We've made an English dish, faggots. And we got mushy peas, and now we're going to make a dessert which hasn't got any hamburger in it at all. We're going to make, now if I told you that I was going to make this wonderful whiskey and orange sauce, and I started to give you a great long recipe which showed you how you peeled the oranges and you boiled them and you made a syrup, and 3 hours down the road we'd still be making it. Now there are quicker ways to do it because somebody has peeled oranges, somebody's made the syrup, somebody's done all that work, and they put it in a jar called marmalade. So what you do, this is a wonderful sauce, this is a real lifesaver if you're ever in a hurry, is put a couple of tablespoonfuls of whiskey, a couple of tablespoons of marmalade in a pan with whiskey, about an ounce of whiskey. And all you do is take it over and put it on the fire. That's all, you just let it warm together. You give it a little stir to encourage it to turn into a sauce. The sugar and stuff, oh, it smells absolutely gorgeous. This is really wonderful. The sugar goes in with the whiskey, and you just cook it a little tiny bit just to take the the sort of edge off it, because it can get a little raw. But once it's gotten smooth, gotten together, got itself married like the flavors have to do, they have to learn to be together and dance together and be nice to one another. That's what's happening in here. And it goes a little thick, a little syrupy, nothing spectacular. We're not going to do anything. To make our dessert, you just take a couple cups. You grab yourself a nice clean spoon, and you put a big dollop of ice cream in there like that, and another big dollop in there like that. And you take your sauce, and there you are. It's ready to go. You take it to the table, and you let it cool a little bit first, and then you pour it over the top, because if you pour the hot sauce over, it'll melt. And that's how we made dessert, just as quick as that. I mean, there's no reason for you to work hard when you don't have to work hard. You can put this sauce on a pudding. You can do almost anything. It's absolutely great also on chicken. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but cook some chicken, put a little bit of that whiskey marmalade sauce on it. Wonderful. If you'd like these recipes, send us a stamped, self-addressed envelope to the Urban Peasant, Vancouver, British Columbia, postal code V6B 4B2, Post Office Box 5157.
Thanks to your local cable company, you're watching the Learning Channel.